Hello learners, welcome to the third lecture of first week of the business law paper, the first unit Introduction to Business Law. So earlier we have understood the fundamentals related to the business law, and now we would like to make it more clear related to the forms of organization. For the success of any business, the choice of a appropriate form of the organization is very important, because as per the requirement of the business, as per the level of the operation, as per the interest of the businessman, entrepreneur themselves, it is very important to go for an appropriate size and form of the organization. The form of organization itself brings lot of flexibility, at the same time lots of rigidness also. So let's deep dive into the forms of organization, what are they and in what ways they support or brings friction to the progress of the business itself. So in this session, I have tried to cover the business organization's form. The student will be able to understand that. Then in what ways it acts as a challenge, or in what ways it supports the business in the beginning or in the later progress sessions. And then what are the pros and cons of specific business structures. So as I said, for any business organization, different types of rules and regulations related to its beginning or related to its legal formalities are associated. So in what ways the entrepreneur is willing to take risk, up to what extent he has the freedom of the resources as far as time is concerned, as far as the different resources required for the licensing is concerned. These all are going to bring difference in the choice of the organization. So choosing the right business structure is one of the very critical decision for an entrepreneur. Unless and until the entrepreneur knows what are the different options available to him, he cannot be in a better or confident situation. So each business structure offers distinct advantages and challenges at the same time. So let's take without any further delay, let's understand what are the very common forms of organization which any entrepreneur may find suitable for their functioning or the activities. So as far as structures are concerned, they have their specific features, specific benefits, specific limitations, and they are basically related with these four factors. The first one is related with the liability. So any business organization offers different freedom as well as restrictions related to the liability of the related to the capital, or related to the assets, or related to the personal assets of the person or entrepreneur associated with it. So as we say liability, for example, if we say the sole tradership, there we have the unlimited liability. When I say unlimited liability means whatever payments or obligations the business has to make in future, the entrepreneur's personal assets can be attached to that. If the business resources are not enough to cover the obligations or the payments, the entrepreneur's personal assets may be attached to it, and that is the unlimited liability. So in the same way, the another factor is management and control. So when it is a sole tradership, it is the most flexible or most effective management and control by the entrepreneur himself, because there is no dilution of the management or the control or the ownership. Everything is to be done by the owner himself or herself, and then he do not have to ask anyone, he do not have to follow any procedure to take permission or any voting or any kind of requirement is not there. So in that case, the management and control is different when we change the business organization. For example, if it is the company form of organization, the management and control is not that easy, because the board of directors or the managers has to take permission from the owners, that is the shareholders, and there is a whole lot of procedures associated with that, and it has to be followed before taking any major decisions. Then for capital component also, if the form of organization changes, it changes with the flexibility related with capital. For example, if it is sole tradership, every resource is dependent on the entrepreneur uh, himself, and then he has limited options to collect the capital. And if we go for the, say, partnership, in that case there are more than two people involved, so resources also multiply accordingly. So people, if we increase the number of people, obviously the resources or source of the capital also increases. Then the legal formality, obviously, if it is sole tradership, suppose, there is no legal formality required. It is the easiest form of organization to begin. Literally, you can decide or begin the business today, and then if you are not interested, you just put your shutter down and you can close the business. You do not have to ask anyone, or you do not have to go for any legal formality or permission from anyone. So these are the features specifically related with the individual's business, that is called as sole tradership or sole proprietorship. That is the business of one person. The entrepreneur who is thinking of doing the business, he is the person behind the idea. He is the person who is organizing the resources. He is managing everything associated with the beginning as well as the growth of the business. At times he is the one who opens the shop, he cleans the shop, and then he deals with the customers, he deals with the employees if any, or the suppliers. So he is the whole soul there in the business. So it is the simplest form of organization possible. Literally, you can start it within an hour and then you can close it as per your wish, as and when you want. So there is no legal formalities required. It is the simple and easy to start. Then as far as liabilities are concerned, it has unlimited liability. Unlimited liability means if in any case business resources are not sufficient enough to pay the obligations or the payment related to the business activities, the owner's personal assets can be attached to it. He may be required to bring from his personal resources, his personal car or personal house may be attached to the business obligation, because for any third party, the entrepreneur and the business are not at all separate. They are considered to be same from the eyes or from the viewpoint of any third party. So, for example, if we take any grocery shop, the very vegetable shop or the supply shop which is in the neighborhood of ours, we see that the person who is doing the business and the shop, we can always consider them the same. So, whenever we think of the person, we remember about the shop, and whenever we think of the shop, the person's pictures come to our mind. So in that way, we can understand that the person and the business are same. So from the viewpoint of the third party, the liability is also limited. So as far as control is concerned, the person who is doing the business, the entrepreneur, he is the whole soul related to that specific business. He has to decide everything, he has to take initiatives, he has to plan, he has to implement, and every activity right from morning till evening is to be taken care by the entrepreneur himself. So he has that flexibility, he enjoys that full control on the business, but at the same time he has that responsibility also. The liability related to financial obligations, the liability related to any decision or implementation, execution, control, everything lies on that person, that entrepreneur himself. So we have various flexibilities, we have various advantages related to the sole proprietorship. The ease of formation. Starting the business is a no time job. If you have decided anything, if you wish to start, suppose a grocery business or related with any food related business which you wish to start at your own as a sole tradership, you can start it then and there. If you have the resources, you need not to take any legal action, you need not to go for any formality, no forms, no permissions, no registrations are required as such. So it is very easy to form. Then it has the very advantage of secrecy. Means you are not sharing your information with anyone. There is no legal formality or compulsion for the sole trader to disclose his earning or to disclose his wealth of the organization or he himself to any third party. There is no website declaration required. There is no annual reports required to be prepared or to be shown or transferred to any party associated. So any activity related to the business is altogether can be kept secret to the entrepreneur only. He's not sharing it with anyone. It is very, very flexible. You can plan for anything, you can execute it then and there, you can change it, you can modify it, because it's the same person who is doing everything. So lots of flexibility is there. And then related to profit, he is the one who is enjoying everything. He is not going to share it with anyone. No sharing is required. No legal formalities related to the distribution of the profit or declaration of the profit is required. Whatever is the profit, whatever is the loss belongs to the person, belongs to the entrepreneur. But at the same time, as every coin has two faces, there are few disadvantages as well related to the sole proprietorship, like it has unlimited liability. If the resources of the business are not enough to fulfill the financial obligation of the business, then the businessman, the entrepreneur, need to bring from his personal sources. There is the sources of capital is also limited. Whatever resources he is having, maybe from his personal source or maybe from the bank or maybe from any relative, so he has to manage in that limited resource only, that limited capital only, because only one person is involved. The resources are also associated with that one person. Then there is lack of continuity. Means there, if any negative things happen with the businessman, with the entrepreneur, like he is not well, he is sick, or he has some permanent disability, or something happens to him, so in that case there is no formal system of continuing the business. If the entrepreneur is not well, it is going to impact the business directly. Maybe if he is not able to take actions, if he is not able to come to the shop, the business will be closed then and there. So that is the limitation of the sole tradership, that continuity cannot be ensured. It is totally dependent on the well-being and the actions and the involvement of the entrepreneur who is dealing with it. Then there is personal risk, as if any financial mishappening is there with the entrepreneur, that is directly going to impact the business also, because all the resources are to be brought in by the entrepreneur, and if his financial health is not good, then that is going to impact the business also. For any third party, even for taxation purpose, for government, or any third party, for supplier, for customer, they are same. The entrepreneur and the business are considered to be same. So if we increase the level of operation to the next one, that is partnership. So partnership is governed by Indian Partnership Act 1932, where more than two persons come together to start a business and share the profit that is being generated as a result of that business. So because numbers are increasing, so that numbers brings the strength. In case of sole tradership, it was one person only, so one man show always have a limited options of performance. But if you are increasing the numbers, that number increases the strength. So that strength is increased in the form of the ability of the person who is involved, the resources like capital, the involvement in the decision making process, all these things multiply. So how does it start? Because more than one people are involved, so there has to be common thought process, that is the agreement. They should come together to discuss, to decide some common thing related with the business. What type of business, what scope of business, which product, which service, which geographical location, for with what amount of capital, what will be their contribution in the form of capital, in the form of management support. All these things has to be decided in advance. Among those people, whoever are coming together, they should discuss and decide all these things in advance. And that agreement may be oral or may be written. So that flexibility is available in from the Partnership Act itself, that deed may be written or may be oral. But if it is written, it has lots of advantages associated to it. Then there is a mutual agency involved in partnership. Mutual agency means every partner act as an agent of the firm and the other partner associated with that firm. When we say firm, firm is that organization under which the business of partnership is being carried on. So firm is the organization, partnership is the relationship between the people, the individuals who are involved in that business. So that relationship can be said with the name of the profit sharing ratio. That relationship can be said with the name of the capital they are contributing, or the time they are devoting for the management, or XYZ, anything related with their mutual agreement. The liability of the partner, although the number increases, their strength increases, but still the liability of the partner remains unlimited. It means very similar to the individual business or the sole tradership, partners also need to bring from their personal resources in case the financial requirement of the business demands. So these are few of the basics related with the partnership business, and because we have changed with the form, we must understand what advantages it provides to the individuals. So as I said, the strength of the numbers. So more than one person is there, so whoever comes with some resources. So that is a kind of pooled resource that acts as a support system for the business. That resource may be the money brought in by the business entrepreneurs, or their abilities. Some may be very good at the technical skill, some may be very good at the communication skill, some may be very good at the financial management skill. So that way it creates a pool of resources and gives a very good support system to the business. Burden is also shared. If more than one person is there, obviously one will do something, another will do something else. So that way one may be looking after the suppliers and the manufacturing and the raw material side, another person may be looking after the marketing side. So that way one may be involved in the money management related issues, the funds and all he must be looking after. Another may look after the customers related issues. So that way the burden or the work that is required to be done in the business is divided. Flexibility. So partnership business also offers lot of flexibility, because the number of people who are involved, normally they know each other, they come together to start the business with a consensus, with a common thought process. So they decide with the things very easily, because they share the common thought process. They may be friends or maybe relatives or maybe known people to each other. So they decide the things easily, they modify the things easily and go for the any kind of challenge that comes from the outside world. They are able to face it very easily. So like two faces of coins, we have some disadvantages as such. As for the first one is the unlimited and the joint liability. For any financial obligation or for any duty related to the partnership business, every partner is individually as well as jointly responsible. So in that case, if any risk happens, if any problem arises because of one partner's negligence or because of one partner's mistake, others are also responsible for that. Others also face the impact of that, maybe financially, maybe related with their relationships, but that impact is for sure on other partners also. Then there are potential of conflict. So more people may result in some kind of conflict of view, conflict of interest at times, because in the beginning things seems to be smooth, but as the level increases, as the money starts coming, so that may create a kind of friction between people. One may think that I am doing more and getting less, and the another person is not doing that much what is expected from them. So that way the potential of conflict is always there, because of the difference in the vision, because of the difference in the expectation of the performance from the other person, that conflict may arise. Then there may be the lack of legal personality is also there, because the partnership and the firm, they are considered same from the third party's viewpoint, they are considered same. So any issue coming with the firm actually belongs to the partners. So in spite of name of the organization different, actually it is the partners who are facing any issue. So because partnership firm is not having any distinct legal existence other than the partners. So whatever partners are doing, the firm is getting impacted. Whatever is happening to the firm, the partners are getting impacted in turn. So partnership disputes can be particularly damaging because they affect both business operations as well as relationships. If relationships are in any way getting impacted, that is going to impact the business also. If partners are not involved wholeheartedly, if they are not involved in the business with their zeal and enthusiasm that was there in the beginning, it is going to impact the performance of the business as well. Now we have the another form of organization that is in some way very supportive, but at the same time with some restrictions. We call it company, or we call it a corporate house, and it is the form of organization which is relatively bigger in comparison to individual business or the partnership business. So it is to be carried on as per the requirement, because we have few basic features associated to company which is very different from individual business or the partnership. The first one is its separate legal entity. The company is said to be a separate legal entity than its owners or founders or the proprietors or the managers. It's altogether different from them. It has its own existence, it is created by law, and it is brought to end by law only. Means for everything there is a legal formality, and it is being governed by Companies Act 2013. Earlier the act was 1956, but it was amended and a new act was passed in 2013. So every working, every functioning is to be followed as per the norms and the regulations given in Companies Act 2013. So it has perpetual succession, means it is not at all dependent on the life or well-being or involvement of any of its members. So they are like their life is limited, their life is there is an average life for the individuals who are involved, but there is no average life for any company. Means members may come, may go, but the company will continue. The reason being, it has its separate legal entity. And because it has separate legal entity, the liability of the members is also limited. So in case of any loss happening to the organization, the maximum loss members will bear is up to their contribution. So normally it is the value of the share that they are going to lose, otherwise nobody is going to ask from their personal sources. So that is the very important feature related to the company, that is limited liability. So we have few forms of types of companies in India as per the Companies Act. So it is, and that also have its own features, flexibility and disadvantages at the same time. So we have one form as private company. So as the name suggests, it has minimum of 2 members and maximum members can be 200. And because it is a private company, it cannot invite the public subscription. When I say public subscription means it cannot ask for general public to contribute for its shares or contribute for its capital to start or to run the business. So it has relatively more private structure and control as compared to the public company. Public company has minimum of 7 members and no maximum limit. There may be any number of members in the form of shareholders in case of public company. The advantage, the major advantage it has, it can invite contribution from general public for its capital formation, maybe for equity shares or for preference shares, but that contributions can be asked from general public. It has access to capital market for its growth. It can issue its IPO in the primary market, and then it can go to the secondary market also for its transactions related to the shares, purchase and sale of the shares. Then we have a very unique form of company that is said to be one person company, which actually enjoys the benefit of company at the same time of a sole tradership or the individual business also. So the one person company has only one member, as the name suggests, and it allows the benefit of both because the control is very much there in the hands of the individual, and it has some of the flexibility of the company form also. So what structure one is going to choose, either it is a sole tradership or partnership or company, then inside the company also which form of company the one wish to start, the entrepreneur has to take action accordingly, and there has to be a proper matching between the type of business the person is pursuing and the form of organization he is choosing. So it can be sole trader, it can be partnership, it can be company, or we have few more options available like joint venture and association of person. But these three are the most common related to the normal business activities that are carried on. So when we look for the advantages and disadvantages of the company provides limited liability protection. As I said, the maximum loss the members may bear is up to their contribution in the form of shares. Whatever contribution they have made in the capital of the company in the form of shares, the maximum loss they are supposed to bear is up to that extent. In no way, reason or no situation they has to contribute from their personal sources. Then for capital formation, it is unlimited options available. It provides lot of support system because the company may raise capital from the individuals. So it may go to any extent. It depends on the process, the plan and the way how it is being executed, the goodwill that the company is enjoying. It can issue the capital up to any extent whatever it has decided in its article and memorandum of association. Then there is a perpetual succession. Business may continue forever, literally forever. It is not at all dependent on the life of the members. The disadvantages companies has, it has its complex formation process. As I said earlier, that we need to follow the Companies Act at every stage, every step related to company. You cannot do anything at your own or as per your wish, as it was in case of partnership or individual business. So the formation process is very complex. It has to follow a lot of legal formalities, lot of permissions, lot of documents need to be prepared, and it has to compliance many requirements, and then only it can come into existence. For issue of shares also, it has to go with lot of legal formalities. Then even during the lifetime of the business, working of the company, it has to follow the compliance. There are clear-cut guidelines related with everything, literally everything, related to the profit calculation, related to the balance sheet. Even the format of the balance sheet is very clearly made as per the act, that this way the balance sheet assets liabilities must be shown, and there is potential loss of control. the members, 4, 5, 6, 10 members, whoever have decided to start the company, once it issues its shares into the market and number of members increases, the control also gets diluted. Because more people means more thought processes, more people means it is difficult to bring them on the same point. So decisions are to be taken based on majority. So we have annual general meeting concept, and then we have a voting concept, and that way it is being decided. So means it is not one person decision or one person's role which counts, now it is among many. So when we say specific form of organization in partnership itself, which is said to be limited liability partnership, so it is a kind of hybrid of company and the partnership. As one person company is a hybrid of individual business and company, in the same way limited liability partnership is a specific form which enjoys the benefit of company at the same time the partnership, because the liability becomes limited, very similar to the company's case, and the other things are from the benefits of the partnership are being enjoyed. So this structure is particularly popular among professional services like firms of law practitioners or accounting firms or consulting businesses, where enterprises and personal relationships are key to success. We do not need much resources, only the skills of people are involved. So this chart gives a comparison between the sole tradership, partnership and company. You can get a bird's eye view with that. Legal status, the individual business is the business, the owner and the business have no separate entity, and in partnership there also it is the same, but in company there is a separate legal entity. Liabilities in case of individual business and partnership are unlimited, and in case of company it is limited. For capital formation, individual business has very limited resources, partnership has pooled resources, but in case of company it is unlimited up to any extent. For formation, individual business is easiest to form, partnership have a common agreement required, and for company it is very, very difficult. For continuity, in case of individual business, it ends with the owner if there is any issue. In partnership, it may be with the modification of the partnership, it may continue. But in case of company, there is perpetual succession, means it is not at all dependent on the life or well-being of the members. So depending on the type of the business, as I said, one has to choose the form of the organization that they will continue with. So if it is a tech startup, for example, I have taken this case, if it is a tech startup, then an individual wants to start a tech business with a high risk of research and development and needs to raise significant capital from investors. So in this case, the individual business or partnership will be very, very risky, because their personal assets may be attached to the financial obligation of the business. So in that case, either it is a private limited company, or it is maybe the ideal choice as it offers limited liability and it is a preferred structure for investors. So these with the limitations and advantages, one has to match the requirement of the business that they are going to start, and accordingly they should choose the organizational structure. So these are few of the references or the list of the books and authors that one can refer to for further reading. So here we end with the forms of organization, and in the later unit we will be coming, in the later sessions we will be starting with the specific business law topics as Contract Act. Thank you very much for being with me, for giving your time and energy. I hope it was a wonderful session and brought some clarity to you related with the form of organization.